Right. Do 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 do. Test 1 2 2 1 2 2 test. Test 1 2 2 1 2 2 test. All right, we got volume. Good afternoon, everybody. So if nobody comes in, that's okay too. I'm just letting you guys know that we're getting ready to do a setup for halibut right now. So you guys probably want to watch this later because that I've got a new setup that I'm doing right now, and it's out of necessity because that I got a report that if you're using a spreader, which is your weight down here, it's an L, and it goes out and you hang your bait down that those smaller fish are just picking the stuff apart, right? So we're not going to go there today. We're going to go with big jig head, but we've got current tomorrow. So I've got an idea and I'm going to show you guys what that idea is. But first, I've got to make the new jig heads. I just got the 2-pound hammer jig head, and I've got 1.5 and a 1 ounce weight in here, which I'm sort of waiting for it to cool down because them suckers is awful hot. And then, of course, I've got the big 3-pound balls that I just poured. These took a little while to cool down, I'll tell you. So we've got 3 of the 3-pound balls. So we're getting set up with those. But right now, I'm going to melt some more lead, and we're going to pour that 2-pound jig head right now. So let me go grab that, and then I'll show you guys what I'm thinking here. Now, we're going to be putting a whole herring on here with the squid. So I was a little concerned about the distance there too for the distance for tying on that onto this hook, because then I have to put quite a bit of this number 10 hook up inside of this jig head in order for it to hold, right? So, oh yeah, I got to get the flip for it here. Let me put this back down. Okay, let's see. And I probably better melt another lead in there just to make sure we got enough, as I hate running out. Let's see. I need, which eyelet is it? That one or is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah, you got to have an eyelet in there to be able to hold your line. Huh, not even that one. Let's try the bigger one then. Yep, that's the one. All right, let's get a hook in there. So I'm just simply going to insert this hook up in here and right to the back. I've got everything where I want it. Okay, I got it locked down. We should have enough lead. So you guys are going to get to see the inaugural pouring of this 2-ounce jig head. All right, let's see. All right, let's close that down. Well, welcome in there, Joshua, in and on the net. Welcome in, Mr. Flounders. And what are we making today? We're getting ready to go out tomorrow morning to go halibut fishing, and then we're going to come in and do some lingcotting. We're going to go ahead and skip the salmon, which I had that challenge, of course, which was if you go out and catch a halibut, a salmon, and a lingcod, that's called the perfect trifecta day, and we have a prize for that. So I'll announce that after, probably on this video that we're doing now. But I just don't feel like trolling for salmon, and neither does the captain tomorrow. So, but right now we're going to pour this 2-pound jig head right here. Here we go. What? I'm spilling it all over the place. Dang it! That one got messed up. That's for sure. Boy, I made a mess out of that inaugural pouring. Ooh, what a mess. But that's okay. The jig head's done. I know that hook set in there really well. I've got a 1 ounce and a 1.5 ounce round ball here, and what we're going to do with these guys is they're double eyeletted. And the reason why I want the double eyelet is I'm going to run this lighter weight as my first weight, and then I'm going to run another one off of the back of it, just like I was drift fishing, because that those I forget what they're called, the little flounders that are around there, those guys are a real pain in the kazoo, right? So the tachi or something like that, I call them, they're California halibut is what they are. So that California halibut has just been eating up everybody's bait, and the flounders never get a chance to eat it because they're on the bottom and they're hanging to the bottom right now. So that's been an issue. So I was like, okay, I'll take that report and I'll make something up, and I'm going to share that with you guys right now. So let's see how this inaugural pour turned out. If I can get all this lead loose. I'll probably end up having to redo this one because I messed it up. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's been out catching lots of fish. So I'm pretty excited about tomorrow. This is sort of my birthday trip. Fish that I've wanted to do for a while. I'm more excited about the Lincoln because I made what I'm calling the dill pickle. It's called a dragon pickle. And I loaded that tail with glitter, you guys. Ooh, can't wait to see what that does tomorrow. And then, of course, I made up some of the shrimp ling reapers, or the squid ling reapers. These things are just, they catch fish. So that I'm waiting for that tomorrow too. But I heard that the lingcod bite went off because the water got warm, and so if they're off, that means that the cabezons are off too. So I'm hoping that bite starts back up again because July the 1st, I usually go because I love eating cabezon. So, boy, did I make a mess out of this thing. All right, let's see if I can just open it. I can. That made it easier. Woohoo, that's one big mold. Man, I'm telling you guys, this thing's a monster. Here, I was all worried. I don't know if that's going to get to the bottom or not. Yeah, it's going to get to the bottom. Staying on the bottom, different story. There we go. Yeah, it's good enough. How hot is it? Okay, let me give this guy a cut. That's a big jig head. All right, let me give her a cut. Okay, so here's my theory, guys. So that I don't keep you around and keep you all bored. Pound that down. Okay. So this is going to be my jig head. See if this is cool enough yet? Yeah, it is. Okay. Cut this off. Woohoo, no, that's still hot. Let's just use the 3-pound for example. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. So my jig head, like so. Ooh, that's still warm too. And my ball here with the spreader in between them, right? So this one will be lighter than this 2 pound. So I'll use the 1 pound, but this 2 pound will pull that 1 pound down. Once it hits the bottom, bink, then what I'm going to do is just reel this one up just a bit, right? And then this one should just be going pound, pound, pound on the bottom. And I'm hoping that that keeps those Pacellis or Petrellis or whatever they call them, the California halibut. Of course, I want to catch some of those too because I love eating them. But that's my idea. So what I did was, of course, I started with 80-pound test line, and I figured, almost 3 foot, right? So then this one will actually connect to the bottom of this ball here, which this one had it too, right? Just pretend like this is the bottom, and you got your one on the top. I'm going to connect this to this, right, on the bottom, and you'll have your line coming off this way. and then you'll have your line going out this way to your jig head, right? So, and then of course I'll tie the herring onto it, and that was my question. Am I going to have enough room to tie the? I put that hook in backwards, and I'll try that too. But I'm going to try. Damn, that's heavy. So I don't know if I have enough room to tie the herring to that hook. It's, you still almost need a stinger hook. So I said, okay, well, I want a glowing head, right? So I made a glowing hook as well. So I'm thinking about this for the stinger. Just back behind it, I'll just tie it on with some 80-pound test line. And, just the same as we do for any other stinger hook, just tie it on and get it on there. And then that way it gives me enough room to tie that herring and squid. And then I'll just rope that herring and squid mainly to here and let this one just let that tail wiggle, right? So that was my goal today was to get ready for that. I had to get some poles set up and all the rest of that. So that's what I'm up to today, guys. So I hope that you guys enjoy what we're doing. I'll probably have some of these put together and send some pictures of them out tomorrow. But I figured I'd go ahead and pour a few more of the jig heads. And if anybody else comes back in, then you guys can hang out. All right. So I don't need any more of those leads because I got a 1 and a 1.5. I don't think I'm going to lose that one as much as I might lose the other one. All right. So yeah, let's do more jig heads. I think those jig heads are the most important. We can put any size ball we want in front of it. So, all right. So this hook way has got to go this way. I love new molds when you're sitting down trying to figure them out, you guys. They are very challenging at times. But this one was pretty easy, actually. See if that's the right size. Nope, need the bigger guy. All right. Woohoo, that sucker is hot, 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 hot. Okay, let's get her closed down. Okay, here we go. The second one. Let's see if I can pour that a little bit smoother than I did that first one. Get that slag up off the top. And then, of course, I'm going to powder coat these too. So with a very, very strong glow. And then I have a second glow that I add as a substitute to it just to help keep it glowing even stronger, right? So let's try this again. That's much better. I seem to have my pour on now. Okay, there we go. That was a much better pour. Man, I cannot believe how hot these guys are. Woo-hoo-hoo. That lead holds some heat for a while. So I'm really excited about doing some halibut fishing tomorrow. We're going to go to places that everybody hasn't been already, right? So that's an our advantage, though. That's for us. Okay, that was clean. I think I'm going to move this guy over to there so that I can probably tie one of these up for you guys and show you what I'm talking about. So these actually have one on the bottom and one on the top. So let's see if I can get this one cooled down. And that next jig head is just about ready to come out. So we'll take that puppy out as well. Don't want to be grabbing it there. Okay. Let's get this guy moved over here. Get it cooling down. That's why that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that I have so much stainless steel inside of the shop, is because that it lets me do that, right? It lets me put hot metals, hot plastics, all the rest of that stuff, and help cool them down, right? All right, so let's get to this guy. Come on. Okay, there's that dude out. He's sideways, but I don't care. I think that might be in my advantage. Okay, get this guy cut. Give him a pound. Right. And the reason why you want to pound that tippet down is just so that it doesn't, like that right there. I'm gonna pound that down too, just because I don't want any sharp edges that might cut my line. So there's the next one. We'll cool it down too. That's I forgot what I put a rack here for. There we go. All right, let's get the next one going. And that hook turned on me a little bit, so let's make sure that we get her set just right here. Okay. And clip for the jig head, and I better melt more lead just to be safe. So I make all my lead into ingots, so that way I've got pretty clean lead, which is a big plus, especially when you're pouring. And it's not popping and stinking, right? Which is another big advantage. Okay. This time I got that puppy straight. Okay. Got to be lined up just with that line right there. All right. Let's get this guy poured. Heck, the mold probably weighs 2 pounds. No, it weighs a little bit more than that. But it's a pretty heavy mold. Oh, come on. Quit pouring out of 2 spots. I don't think that one poured. No, it didn't. Okay, new molds, pain in the butts. So I'm waiting for that lead to finish melting down, and then we'll shoot the next one. Usually my brass floats up. There it is. All right, we'll use a different one, of course. Oh, ooh, that bed is too hot. Okay. All right. And I think that that was probably from the slag too. So we'll take care of that. All right, let's try that again. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a good day. I see I got 2 people in now. I know that I took that time off, and I'll tell you what, that sure took its effect on this company for doing lives and stuff, for being in the bait lab with you guys. I do apologize, but I do deserve a break sometime. So, just that being said, I'm back and rolling. The store's coming along. The store's coming along really well. Put it up. The store's coming along really well, and some of the new stuff that we're going to be offering. Just for example, these new halibut jigs, right? I was in today, and that jig right there is like $15. These 3-ounce lead balls are $20. So of course, me being the manufacturer, you guys get a lot better deal on that. So you'll be happy when you come in to purchase stuff, you guys, when the prices match what you guys think that they should be. Okay. All right. Got it straight. Yeah, got it straight. All right. Let's try that again. All right. That's got that slag back. All right. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, got it. So when I'm putting the mold down, the hook is actually turning. Here, I'll show you guys. Great. All right. Anyway, when I'm putting the mold down, it's turning the hook. So, and I don't want that. It's turning it there at the bottom. So, but at least I caught that now, right? Let me get you guys set back up here. Well, I'll tell you what, you take some time off, you just lose all of your rhythm, right? So, and that happened to me. I literally lost all of my rhythm. I pretty much lost, the ability to do all this and all the rest of that. But I will get back into the groove. You can bet your booty on that. All right. Now, yeah, it works. Okay, there we go. Now we're pouring, right? Okay, that was a much better pour. I'll tell you what, I think that this is the 3 pound ball is the biggest one I've done yet, right? So thank God that I had some experience with these guys to be able to do that, to be able to pour these guys, right? Okay, learned a lesson there. Go one way, go the other way with it. Yep. All right, them suckers is hot, hot, hot. Okay. So anyway, what do you guys think of the size of that jig head? Jam. If anything else, I'll probably knock them in the head. Knock them out. Maybe they'll float up. Okay, next hook. I was only going to make 4 of them, but the guys were in the shop and they're like, "Oh no, 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 no! I will definitely want to try that setup, Kurt." So there was quite the fuss about that. So I was like, "Okay, okay, okay, I'll make some more." So I'm gonna make up probably about 5, 6, because I'm gonna powder coat them too. I want you guys to see that I perfected. I told you guys I've been working on colors, and I perfected a new glow, which took me quite some time to get the right chemicals and all of the other things that we needed to make that glow. But let me tell you something, I'm real happy with it. It goes right over the top of the plastic coating, which is a real bear to handle, but it can be done. But the glow, once I charge it up, it lasts longer, and that's what I'm after, is that longer glow. Because that bait's going to be down there. In theory, it's going to be down there 20, 30 minutes, right? So I wanted to make sure that it stays that glow for that long. Okay, come on out. That was a much cleaner pour. All right, let's do a couple more. So what do you guys think of this? Anybody in here with me? If not, I'm just going to keep on going. I'll just not talk to the camera. Let's see, is anybody in? Okay, yeah, nobody's there with me, but that's okay. I'll just keep on working and doing what I'm doing. You guys can watch, and then that way it's there in case somebody wants to go do a pour or something like that. At least you know semi what's going on when you're doing it, because you got to watch some of this. Oops, you got to melt some more lead first. So when I melt that lead, even though it looks like it's still hot enough, I'll wait a little bit and add another one to it. Then I'll scrape the slag off the top and let it heat up a little bit more, and then I'll pour. So let's see if that other ball's cooled down. These guys are still smoking hot. Yeah, that thing is, I burnt all the energy out of that thing. Okay, it's actually handleable. Okay, so now, like I said, what my theory here is that I am going to clamp on to the bottom of the other eyelet and come off, but I want to have some glow beads on here too. So the first thing that goes on to your clamp line is your crimper, which is this little guy right here. Okay. Then I'm going to put my bead on, which this is my glow bead. These beads hold charge for a long time. I've tested them and know. Okay. Now, instead of putting a swivel through there, I don't think I need a swivel through this one because I got the swivel at this end, right? So I'm going to go ahead and run this through. And I'm going to run it back through the bead. So let me show you that. So I've got it run through the lead. Okay. And then I'm going to run it back through the bead. Oops. There you are. Okay. I'm going to run it back through the bead. I'm actually going to use this bead to help hold this till I get my crimper on. Okay. Now I'll put my crimper on, run it through the other side. And what this effectively does is it becomes your stop, right, for the bead, and then also to hold this weight on, right? So let me get my crimpers out. And they look just like this. They got different sizes on them. You unlatch it. Then you crimp it twice. So you want to crimp at the top and at the bottom. The places where it's going to get the most pressure. Come on, knock it off. All right, I'm going to put it in right there. I always use the front of the crimper first. Okay, there we go. And we got a good crimp. Check the tightness. Okay. So here's my setup, guys. So my main line's going to come off of here, okay, to my pole. This is then going to hopefully go down like this because the 2-ounce jig head will be pulling it down. But here's this. This is to my line. This then goes down, and I'm hoping that that 2.5-ounce lead on the back of this guy, which will get hooked on like so. I'll show you for demonstration purposes. Always got to have lots of those around. Like I said, the store's getting stocked up, you guys, so we're getting in pretty good shape here. So we're going to probably wait till around August the 1st. And the reason why is there's no fishermen here right now. If I wanted to do the deep sea stuff, those guys will have to learn about me first before they come and do anything with me. So I figured out what the heck. I mean, I can run some ads and do some stuff like that, which I might do. Because, you know, when you're paying $20 for one lead ball, that's a little steep, you guys. That's a little steep. So then I'll take my jig head, put it on, and then I'll try to show you this whole setup. Yeah, that jig head's still hot too. That lead is holding some heat today. Okay, so now just imagine that this is straight, right? My line, main line, right? Then this comes down and attaches to this guy here, which then will have my herring on it. I'm hoping that this one, once I reel it up, will just make this one bounce the bottom, right? That's what I'm after, because I don't want those petrollies, that's their name. I don't want those petrollies eating me out of house and home, right? So that's my goal is to get to that point where those petrollies aren't eating me out of house and home. So since I got this one out, I wanted to share with you guys a new powder coating, which this is the one that you can get. It's called, this is the Stardust. Their glows are excellent. Very tough to use. You have to know what you're doing with this guy for sure. So this is how I planned on doing it. So they're already pretty warm. So all I got to do is warm up the top. Okay, so I'm going to take this leader now. And then this whole leader is just going to go just like this. And I'll roll that up and get it ready for the morning. And then I have one that's 1.5 ounces too, which I think is going to be in our favor. All right, let me get my torch. All right. So now I'm going to heat this puppy back up. It's still hot, but I'm going to heat this puppy back up until I see it turn silver, until I see it turn clear, right? Then I know it's got enough heat for the first coat. This may take two. Go. Lot of lead to heat up there. Let's see how that does for it. All right, then I'm just going to dip it inside my jar, get her down in there, get her rolled around in it. Yeah, it looks like it's going to take to some of it. Like I said, first coats, right? So it needs to be a little bit warmer, but I still leave that first coat on because it'll start melting and help the other. It'll help the other to stick to it. All right. There we go. Now she's starting to turn silver. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Okay, just roll her around in there like that. Get something to stick to her. Give her a tap. Nope, it's not sticking at all. What the hell's going on there? I don't know if I can get that any hotter. Let me try. This one's just flat being stubborn. I may end up having to use the gun and use the electrolysis, which is just fine because I've got that too. So if I have to heat it up that way, I will. Well, that way I just stick it in the oven and do it that way. Let's see what she'll take now. That's pretty dang hot. It should stick. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Roll it. Give it a tap. Yeah, there we go. It just took a lot to heat that thing up. So now I want to keep on heating it and get this to go into its what we call flow state. And once it gets into my flow state, it'll start smoking a little bit. But also, too, that's the other thing, too. I don't want to burn it too much because I lose some of that glow, right? Yeah, it's starting to get ready to go into its flow state. Okay. I'm liking the looks of it. There she goes. You'll see it. It actually turns sort of shiny and gels up to there we go. And it gels up to the metal. And that's what we want, is we want that gel. There we go. Now, here's where I start adding my extra glow to it. It's nice and warm. Then I use a brush on mine because that I only want this to be heated up so far because of what I made here. This one I of course made myself. I use a brush like this. I put it on the table and I thin it out. Then I just start tapping. Okay, so then I just start tapping this stuff on here. Okay, it don't take a lot. Okay, if you get it a little heavy, you'll know about it. But this is a super, super sulfur glow. So that's why I want it on here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is make sure that that's completely on there. Okay, move this up to here. And it's looking pretty good. I'm going to thin her down just a hair more. And then I'm going to go dip this sucker in water, which is what this particular rubber or plastisol calls for, is to be dipped in water. Okay, there we go. That's running pretty good. Yeah, it's the first time I've done such a big jig head, right? I'm glad I tackled it though, because this is going to work really, really well with the with the herring and some squid behind it. So let me go dip this in the water, you guys. If you got any questions for me, please let me know. Don't forget to tap that screen twice. Give me a like. I guess it helps. All right, let me go dip this thing in some water. I'll be right back. Yep, that is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, and I already know how well it glows. Um, I recommend charging with these blue lights. You can get these on Amazon. Okay, you have a question, Chase and Chrome? Shoot away. And welcome in, Garrett, from Chase and Chrome. Here we go. So I usually charge mine with the blue light, which of course I got to put some more batteries on this one. But you sort of want to leave it on there for a little bit and just charge it up, right? You can sort of see it starting to change color. You can't see it until you see it in the dark. But this glow will last for quite some time if you got a good blue light on it. So then I'll bring over one of my Sharkies just to show you guys what I'm thinking here. So that's how you charge it. I like to hit it once and just give it a start, right? Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Yep, gotta get this old Sharky off of here. This poor guy's been through heck. But most sharks usually have been through heck. And yes, I'm talking to you guys. You're just not used to people walking away from the camera and talking. So here's what I'm thinking, guys. So I might put it on backwards and I really don't care because I'm just going to use this for an example. So I've got my herring. I've got my herring on here, and then I want a stinger hook because I know that those halibut, just like every other fish, is going to come up and try to take it, right? So I'm thinking about tying a line, right? Tying a line and putting it back like this off of this one, right? And then I put the glow on the hook, right? Because all it's going to be doing is hanging out anyway. So we'll have the glow from there to there, right? And then I got that stinger hook now. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. I'm going to tie off from here. I could just put this on here like this, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous if he's going to try to take off with that or not, right? Because he can still get it up and get it over the top. It makes me a little nervous. So I think I'm just going to tie on. What do you guys think about that? Should I just go hook to hook or should I tie on? I think tying on is going to be better. I can reach out here a little bit further. So then I'm going to tie my squid on. So I could tie this down. It will have all the string around it. I've got the magic string. So, but that's my setup for tomorrow with the ball out front. Then this guy literally staying down on the bottom. Good luck, Petrels, getting this sucker up off the bottom because I heard that they're just eating everybody's baits before the halibut ever get a chance to get to them. So that's what I'm thinking about for a setup for tomorrow. So then my pole for tomorrow, because we're not going to be in quite as deep water as you can go, but we're going to be pretty deep. So I have an Akuma Avenger that is a 4.0.01. But what I like about it, it's the 300L, is the size of this handle. Because that, I got to do some cranking tomorrow. I'm going to be bringing it up from 300, 200 to 300 feet, right? So this is why I like the bigger handle when I'm cranking this thing up. And then plus fighting the fish. And then I've got this paired with a Pesco. It's a medium action, 15 to 30 pound weight, but I've got braid on anyway. It's a medium action and it's a 7-foot SP. So I'm looking forward to using this tomorrow. This will be the first time out for this Pesco, or no, second time out for the Pesco. I went to go grab my Mudcats pole, and they obviously built that one for freshwater because the saltwater ate all the eyelets already. So, and I washed it off too. So that's my setup for tomorrow. I was thinking about running some of these leads too, which of course I got the mold for those too. So we'll see. I'll just be tinkering around with them. But I've got Super Glow for tomorrow. Which I know how long this glows now, and I'm real happy with it. So, especially with that new powder that I'm putting over the top of it. So I'm real happy with this setup. I'll let you guys know how that goes because I'll be video recording as I'm out, right? I mean, just the ride out there alone, we're going out in a sled. So the waves are about 5 foot. The waves are about 5 foot at, I think like 11 seconds or something like that. So they're far enough apart. So anyway, anybody got any questions for me? I thought you said you had a question, Garrett. Oh, what's your favorite guide? Who's your favorite guide? Well, let me think about that. Now, that's sort of a loaded question, young man. I get it now. I had to read the bottom of the other quote, which I've also got it over here, too. I don't know why I keep reading it off the phone when I got it on my computer right there. Oh, well. Don't always have to be the sharpest tool in the shed. If I just do 4, you know what's going to happen, right? Oh, can I have one of those? No, you should have bought your own. But I'll do one more just in case. All right, I can do it coming up to the top. There we go. Didn't overpour that one. And just to be safe, I think I'm going to pour one more of those 1 pound and 1.5 pound. That way I've got them, and there is no question that, you have enough, right? So, because we could end up in some rocky area, although Captain does have a live screen on there, so I'm pretty sure we're going to know where we're at and what we're fishing for. But anyway, you guys, so I'll let you know how that new setup goes. As far as I know, nobody's done it here. I talked to most of the captains and all the rest of it there said, let us know how that works because it should keep it down on the bottom. But you got to remember, this is a really old mold. This is Little Mac back in the day, right? Gosh. This thing's got to be, it's got to be older than I am. So, that's the other problem is it's harder to get these. I mean, some people are selling them now. And if you can get some of the older Little Macs, I get them because they work really good. And they've just stood the test of time, right? All right. So I don't think I need to bore you guys anymore. We're almost up to that hour now. I hope that you enjoyed the new setup. Please remember to tell your friends to come in and like and subscribe. The station has set at 187. We got one new follower, which I'm happy about. It doesn't bother me because I'll let it grow organically. But you guys are missing out on some of the bait labs, and so are some of your friends. So, I mean, you guys just got to learn how to make a 2.5 pound jig head, right? And how to coat it and what to do with it. And there's a new setup that goes along with it. So, you'd think that you'd want to be sharing that with your friends. So please do that. All right, everybody, this is God Sent Fishing, and happy hooking, and over and out. And don't forget, thanks for the hitting the like button for me, everybody. Have a great night.